Hi, everybody. So last week in the readings, I talked about the fact that I was going to share my twin flame journey. Okay. So this is going to be a series of videos because there's a lot of stuff to talk about. And at the same time, I want to talk about like the whole twin flame journey so you understand what's going on and you know what's happening. So I want to start out by talking about what a twin flame is. Okay. All right. So a twin flame, like I said, let me say this to start out. This is going to be solely based, or the majority of it will be based on my experiences and what I know about it, because I've been dealing with twin flames and reading for twin flames and on the twin flame journey for several years. It's not a thing of where, oh, I'm jumping up and I want to talk about twin flames now. I've been in the twin flame journey for a while. This is not something where, it's been a few months or a few weeks and what I'm saying is just, stuff that I'm spouting. Okay. So anyway, back to what are twin flames. So twin flames are basically two halves of the same soul. When I say that they're two halves of the same soul, I don't mean that if you're on a twin flame journey that you are incomplete and your person is incomplete. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is it's like a soul that has been split into two separate souls that are here to experience life in totality and be able to, come together and bring more light to the world through their mission, through their relationship together, so on and so forth. Okay. So let me also say this. There are a lot of people out there who think they know what they're talking about when it's a twin flame journey. And I'm not talking about the people that are actual twin flames. I'm talking about the naysayers that want to sit and talk about twin flames and say that we're lying or we're crazy or we're making up things and stuff like that. You are not making up things. You are not crazy. This may sound very woo woo, but what you have to realize about life is like it's made up of duality. So it's not just, just like it's black and white. It's the yin and the yang. It's not just logic. Okay. It's emotion. All right. There's a mental aspect to life, and there's also a spiritual aspect to it. Okay. And so you are here. If you're a twin flame, you are here and you're going through a spiritual awakening. Okay. So a spiritual awakening is going to open you up to a lot of things that a lot of other people don't know anything about. Okay. So those of you who are doubting because you've listened to somebody else spout off some shit and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like I said, I'm just going to be totally upfront with you. This is an adult video, so if I need to curse or whatever, like I said, it's in no way to offend you, but I'm going to be straight up. Okay. So the people out there who are basically trying to say that it doesn't exist or we don't know what we're talking about or whatever, these are people who are not on a twin flame journey. So how can they tell you about something that they know nothing about? Okay. It's like being a doctor. I always use that as an example. If you go to school to become a doctor, you've lived your life, the majority of your life as a doctor. Who am I, is not a doctor, to come and sit up in your face and tell you that I know what it's like to be a doctor because I watched a show on TV or I watched a movie or I sat in a hospital for an hour or a couple of days when you've lived this your whole life. Okay. And I'm not saying necessarily that you've lived your twin flame journey your whole life, but if you came here and you're a twin flame and you're experiencing a lot of the things we're going to talk about in this video and subsequent videos, then who is someone that knows nothing about what you're going through? Who are they to tell you anything about your journey and what you're going on, what you're going through and what you're experiencing? It's like abuse. Someone who's been through a lot of abuse, whether it's mental, emotional, physical, or just abuse in general. Who is someone who's never experienced abuse to come and tell you that, oh, that's not abusive, or oh, that's not this, oh, that's not that. Only somebody else that's gone through the same thing as you would be able to talk to you about abuse and be able to level one-on-one with you. Even if someone is empathetic enough or sympathetic enough to understand, to try to put themselves in your shoes, it's still not the same thing as actually experiencing it. Okay. So I just want to put that out there to the people that like to sit up, because there are a lot of manifestation gurus, or people that, talk about manifestation, and they want to say stuff about tarot readers, and they want to say stuff about, twin flames, and how they don't exist, and we're making it up in our heads. And that's bullshit. Okay. That's bullshit, because this is a spiritual journey. You're on a spiritual journey. And who is anybody that's here in a body? Who are they to tell you that what you're going through and what's happening to you, is garbage, or it doesn't exist? Okay. I just want to put that out there, because that's like a sore spot for me. I can't stand that shit when people do that. Okay. Anyway, so this journey is not something that's easy. Okay. It has its moments where it can be very difficult. A twin flame journey can bring you down to your knees, can grind you down if you allow it to. Okay. And I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm just being real about the things that I've experienced. Like when you go through dark nights of the soul, or, you having a bad moment that's going on between you and your person, or you trying to get yourself together, and you're experiencing not just normal depression, but spiritual depression, which is what a dark night of the soul is. It's a lot. It's a test. Okay. It's this situation is a test of faith. Okay. There's a card. Let me see if I can find this card. There's a card in this deck that I use sometimes. It's nine of wands. But in this particular deck, to me, it's talking about the twin flame situation. Hold on, here it is. Okay, this card here. Do you see what it says? It says a test of faith, courage, boundaries, grit, determination, faith, endurance, standing firm, persistence, and maintaining. And all of these words here, to me, are words that are descriptive of the twin flame journey. Okay. All right. So, as I said, you and your twin incarnate on earth, okay, to experience life separately, and to, maybe eventually come together, because not all twin flames end up together. Okay. Not all twin flames are romantic in nature. Some can be friends. They can be a mentor. It can be a lot of different things. Okay. But my twin flame journey has been romantic. All right. So I want to put that out there, but there are other types. It's not just a romantic situation. And then my channel, a lot of it centers around reading for, I read for, about love, and I do new love, and I do future love, and all that stuff. But once I started this channel, I just knew I wanted to read cards, and I wanted to read about love, because that was something that interested me. It was a passion of mine. And then what happened was it evolved into becoming about twin flames. Okay. All right. So let me see what else I can tell you. Like I said, it's a spiritual awakening. You go through a lot of stuff. I've had a lot of crazy things happen to me since I've been on this twin flame journey. Okay. I've had astral projection things happen to me. I've had dreams, like crazy dreams you would never think you'd have. I've had a lot of different stuff. But like I said, you come here with your person to live your lives separately, and then to come together at some point, if you both, because it's a choice. Even if you're here and you on the other side, let me go back. Let me back up a little bit. On the other side, you and your person, your twin, signed up to come here to do this journey. Okay. Before you ever even incarnated here. Okay. And even though you did that on the other side, and you have a soul contract between you and your twin, just like you have soul contracts with soulmates, in this situation, just like with the soulmates, you have a choice on whether or not you want to be with this person. You have a choice on whether, you want to move forward in the situation. It's not something where just because you signed a soul contract with your person that you're bound to be with this person for the rest of your life. That's why I always tell y'all, if you don't like the way things have gone with your person and you choose to part ways or to separate from this person, there's nothing wrong with that. But one thing I do have to tell you is that, number one, you'll never experience a love that's like the love that you have with your twin. And then two, you may always long for them and yearn for them, even after you've done your healing, even after you've gotten into a relationship with someone else, because that soul bond, that cord is there and you cannot cut it. Okay. Because I'm telling you straight up, you cannot cut it, because I've tried. Okay. I've tried to do everything I could before I understood what was going on, to try to distance myself or to not continue this journey with my twin. Okay. But that is, it's like it's a cord that you have for eternity, and you can't do anything to only thing you can do is not choose to not be with them if you don't want to be with them. Okay. All right, I'm trying to think of what else I want to tell you. I was going to create an outline of what I wanted to talk about in these videos, but I can't do that. I don't want to come across stilted and like I'm reading from a script or whatever. I want to sit down and for this to be a conversation between me and you, for you to really understand like what my journey has entailed, and where you can find the synchronicities or the similarities between your journey and mine, because every twin flame journey is different. Okay, I've read for a lot of twin flames, so I know quite a bit of information about them, because a lot of people come and share their stories with me, and it's not always through the comments on the YouTube videos. Sometimes, they people send me emails and explain to me everything that's going on with them. Okay, so let's talk about some ways you're in a twin flame connection. Okay, and like I said, the majority of this is going to be based on my experience, the things I've experienced and the things I've heard from other people. Okay, because I've even read for some twin flames where one was still alive and the other one passed on. So I want to say that to let you know that I've experienced a lot of different scenarios when it comes to this connection. Number one, you're an empath. Okay, your person has psychic abilities too. Your twin has psychic abilities, and I'm going to tell you how I know that. All right, not just the telepathy, but there are other things as well. A second thing I want to talk about is age. Okay, I've read for twin flames where there was like a 1 year difference in their age. I've read for some where they're the same age, but the majority of twin flames that I've read for, and even in my own experience, there's a significantly huge age gap between the twin and their person. I've heard of anywhere from like I've heard from anywhere from like 4 or 5 years, or like I said, a year apart, on up to like 40 or even 50 years of age gaps between, the twin and their person. Like me and my person, there's a 30-year age gap between me and them. And that kind of like freaked me out at first. And you'll find out why once I start to tell more of my story. Okay. So it's a lot. It's a lot about this journey that I want to share with you. So you please be patient with me when it comes to these videos. They may not come out on a I guess an exact schedule, because I have to get to them and work around them along with my readings and other work that I do. So I just want to let y'all know to hang in there. I know it's not easy when I read for y'all the things that I tell you and the things that I've experienced. I want to help you as much as I can to get through your journey, because I know sometimes during this journey you can feel like you're all alone and like nobody cares and you have nobody to talk to about this situation. Some of you who you're just getting into the twin flame connection, or just starting your journey, you may feel like you're crazy. Like I said, there are videos out there, or people out there trying to say that this doesn't exist. It does exist. But it's not everybody that goes through it. Everybody doesn't have a twin flame. Everybody's not on this earth to do the same things that we do. Okay, you were drawn to me and drawn to this channel and drawn to the spirits, the spiritual team that I work with, for a reason. You were drawn in order to help you get the help you need to move through this situation. And like I always tell y'all, I'm always here for you. If you need my help, I am here for you. I can read for you. Like I said, we can have discussions about things if you want to have like a Q&A, but I will be putting out more videos to explain to you what is going on in this situation. But don't believe the naysayers. If somebody is not going through a twin flame connection, they can't possibly understand what you're going through. Okay? In order to understand what is happening in this, you have to be going through it yourself. Okay? So my heart goes out to you. I will be back with more videos. I just have to figure out the best way to do them. I kind of been dragging my feet on it because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I want to give you as much information as I can, and for it to be as good as as it can be. And that's why it's taken me a while to start to do this. But Spirit's been pushing me. They've been giving me, they've been showing me visuals, and they're staying on me. They ain't gonna let me not tell y'all about this. So hang in there. Like I said, I'm here for y'all. I'm reading for you as much as I possibly can. And I will be back with another video. Okay? All right. See ya.